The death of Charlie Kirk has been something that's been weighing on my mind, and I think we all know why this is shocking. But today, especially, is completely different. Something in the air has changed, and things are going to get worse now. What we saw yesterday was the taking of a human life for trying to exercise his First Amendment right, and he was shot for it. He never advocated for violence. He tried to change people's minds, and for that, he was assassinated. It has become very clear now that both the left and the right know that everything has been changed forever. I saw so many people posting on Twitter and talking about what a tragedy it was that he died. People on the right talking about what a great person he was and how he was mostly a moderate Republican. And even some people on the left who were expressing their sympathies for the wife and the kids. And we all knew this was going to happen. The comments and the demons that came out of the woodworks to celebrate the death of a guy who was doing a public speaking event. The amount of monsters I've seen online celebrating the death of a father, the death of a husband, because he tried to change minds and share his ideas in public is a form of cowardice that I don't even think I've seen the lengths of, because I've heard that on Reddit and on Blue Sky, it is entirely worse. The people who are congratulating the shooter. This has to stop. To speak more to the point, to be more frank, this is going to stop one way or another. It either stops with everybody coming together as Americans, or it stops with even more violence. What the terrorists did was try to instill fear onto everybody, that those on one side of the political spectrum would be afraid to share their ideas or to talk about it peacefully. And I'm sorry, but there's no way of putting this lightly. The left advocates for violence. It is very clear as day. So many death-worshipping demons amongst us. There are clearly many people among us who are not peaceful and who are not civil. I'm not a political person, but from time to time, I let it slip where my tendencies are. I don't care if you're right or left. When the ability to talk to each other is destroyed, bad things happen. When we can't talk to each other and we resort to violence against each other, bad things happen. We have people from everywhere, from news outlets blaming the right, blaming Charlie Kirk for his own death, and having the audacity to say that now the right can look at themselves and think about the things they say as they're mocking the death of a man. Right here, Sucker Punch Senior Dev celebrates Charlie Kirk's death. And they say, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. What a disgusting thing to say. It's not just on politics. You have to understand this. It's everywhere, culturally. I've seen so many people posting accounts of healthcare professionals, people in the mental health industry who are glorifying this. If we can't stand together to say that this is bad and this is supremely evil, then none of us are safe. We've had political figures like Harry Sisson coming out and condemning the violence only after people like them have called everybody Nazis. Do you see what happens when you just call everybody you disagree with a Nazi? This changes everything forever. And speaking of cowards who come out of the woodworks on the day that it happens, people like Ethan is online. Imagine spending your last moments on Earth staring at some college student like this. What a coward. You're a nobody. Understand that people like this only speak after someone dies because they couldn't actually win a debate. Now, let's be real about this. Regardless of where you stand, Charlie Kirk wasn't violent. He wasn't. But people like this speak the way they do because they're cowards, because they know they can't win in the marketplace of ideas. When speaking freely to another person, they can't win in debates. They can't talk peacefully with one another. A person's reaction will most likely tell you what kind of person they are. And it's clear to me that Ethan is a low-level piece of shit. Keep in mind, this is the same guy who levied false allegations and tried to go after a pedophile hunter and call him a pedophile with no evidence, and made arguments that sounded like he was supporting a pedophile. Even now, Ethan is posting, mocking the death of Charlie Kirk. By the way, such an ugly face. Comedy is now illegal. Imagine still being alive and choosing to look like this. Everyone can tell you're a man, by the way. Lamau, shut your ugly ass up. Charlie Kirk had honor and character, not something a low IQ coward like you would understand. You hate Charlie because he's right about you. You hate others because you hate yourself. Get help. It's not hard to see that you're a fucking psycho. A blind person could see that. Ethan, you will never be a woman. You're fucking awful. Imagine looking like you. Get a load of this fucking retard. You're a piece of shit, horrible trash person. And you know this is just rage bait. Because they've got nothing interesting going on in their lives. The audacity to call this comedy. Buddy, you couldn't be funny if comedy hit you in the face. Sir, look in the mirror. Comedy is alive and well. A video of this girl in university apparently going viral because these people are laughing at his death. And she calls them out. Trump announces that he will be awarding Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
See, if you can't agree that this is wrong, then get the fuck away from me. You are evil. But these people don't care about the fact that they're evil. They only care that someone that disagreed with them has died. They're absolute pussies. Absolute. So many people who actually have empathy. By the way, I will be waiting for our glorious, enlightened 32-year-old leader, BreadTuber, iDubbbz, to see what he says about this.
Thought it was horrific. This is not, and well, like I said at the time, and people on the left were even criticizing me. They go, oh, Ethan was talking bad about Luigi. How much has he changed? That was my point. He went out and murdered this guy, right? What changed? Not a single fucking thing changed. That's not how we enact change. And so I wouldn't recommend watching the video, but for me, it it's terrifying.
I feel like it's such a terrifying moment for everybody, and to understand this is what we've come to, and I can't help but think about the poor wife, you know,
and kids. Yeah, we've all been scared. Some of us have been looking into getting our concealed license permit.
Yeah.
But seeing it like that definitely made it more realistic and very scary.
I've avoided watching the video, but I heard Ethan's reaction when he saw it. I was like, I knew that was something you don't see every day.
I was brought to tears then because I don't know. I don't think I need to explain it anymore. But I hope people take this seriously.
Let's right now forget the fact that Ethan Klein, obviously no, he's not a Republican. It doesn't matter because Ethan Klein is a family man. And even he can see how devastating this is. I've seen posts by political pundits saying that this is not the way we defeat our opponents. That's the difference. When we talk about empathy, when we talk about showing our humanity. When it comes down to it, when atrocities happen, when terrorism happens, you can see who is actually about their values and who is actually a fraud. I've listened to a bunch of politics here and there. I've had my eras where I was listening and like heavily to it. And I will say this, I've listened to Charlie Kirk, and I will say one of the most impactful things that he said that I resonated with was about families and having a father figure in the home. I don't care if you disagree with him on everything else. But speaking about how important it is to have a father in the home and the responsibility of them, the responsibility that fathers hold in taking care of their children and advocating for both parents to be in the household, I'm sorry, but on that point, you can't convince me otherwise. Charlie Kirk advocated what he advocated for in a peaceful way. He's not even the most aggressive Republican, and you still killed him. The right, and understandably so, will now take this to mean it doesn't matter where you line up. Because to them, if to them he was the most moderate person on the right, and the left were still willing to kill him, and the left are still willing to mock his death, again, not everyone on the left, then there is no low. They would if they had the chance. I don't know what final thoughts I have other than the obvious. It seems like the time for peaceful conversations might be coming to an end, and that's not even just me wanting it. It's not me wanting. It's that I'm seeing reality right there. It's in my face. Like, you can't tell me I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. Arm yourselves and defend yourselves, because good people, no matter on what side you're on, need to defend themselves. And we can't let this be the norm. We can't let this be the norm. I have a tendency sometimes to get riled up in anger when stuff like this happens. But honestly, it is the responses from Ethan Klein or from people on the left and people online who self-admit where their political affiliation lies, and they still agree that this was disgusting what happened. Prayers obviously go, and I've prayed for the Kirk family. I prayed, and prayers to those who were at the event. I had the misfortune of seeing 3 angles from where the shooting took place, and I'm not going to post them. No one should be afraid to speak their mind. We should have more peaceful conversations. But right now, everyone's feeling grief and pain. Obviously, hug your loved ones. I talked to my brother before. When this happened, I thought he was trolling me. But no, it wasn't when he broke the news to me. And I told him I loved him. He said the same thing back. Like, pain begets more pain. I can't imagine hearing that from your child. Hearing that from one of your own, that they're glad that an assassination took place. It's like, that's my flesh and blood. And they're okay with killing people who they disagree with. And I pray for those parents too who have children. And also for those who have parents who are okay with this. I've seen professionals talk about how gleeful and joyful that the bullet hit him, and asking if the bullet's okay. How disgusting do you have to be? You are low-life trash. You are not fit for a civilized society. You are scum of the earth. For everyone who knows what it's really about, talk is cheap. Obviously, people are going to keep talking about each other and trash talk each other. I remember a quote from this, and I'm not trying to... I heard someone say this about 9/11. It's like, I don't remember who it was from, but I heard this somewhere. It's like, they saw what had happened on 9/11, and it's not that they wish for 9/11 to happen again, but he said, I would do anything for a 9/12. Like, the way people came together as one and stopped seeing each other for race, color, political affiliation, and just was there for each other. We need some of that back here again. But understandably, this has caused anger, and you should be angry. If you're a good person, you're not wrong for feeling angry. If you're feeling happy for what just happened, you are a bad person. I don't know how to conclude this video, but like I said, pray for your loved ones, spend time with your loved ones, hug them, defend yourselves and your loved ones. Keep your head on a swivel, keep praying, keep holding on, and just keep your loved ones close.